Experience without theory is blind, but theory without experience is mere intellectual play. If man makes himself a worm, he must not complain when he is trodden on. Science is organized knowledge. Wisdom is organized life. Morality is not the doctrine of how we may make ourselves happy, but how we may make ourselves worthy of happiness. Live your life as though your every act were to become a universal law. It is not God's will merely that we should be happy, but that we should make ourselves happy. Happiness is not an ideal of reason, but of imagination. He who is cruel to animals becomes hard also in his dealings with men. We can judge the heart of a man by his treatment of animals. To be is to do. In law a man is guilty when he violates the rights of others. In ethics he is guilty if he only thinks of doing so. If a man makes himself a worm, he must not complain when he is trodden on. By a lie, a man annihilates his dignity as a man. Happiness is not an ideal of reason, but of imagination. Metaphysics is a dark ocean without shores or lighthouse, strewn with many a philosophic wreck. Thoughts without content are empty, intuitions without concepts are blind. Always recognize that human individuals are ends, and do not use them as means to your end. Ingratitude is the essence of vileness. Religion is the recognition of all our duties as divine commands. Seek not the favor of the multitude. It is seldom got by honest and lawful means. But seek the testimony of few, and number, not voices, but weigh them. All thought must, directly or indirectly, by way of certain characters, relate ultimately to intuitions, and therefore, with us, to sensibility, because in no other way can an object be given to us. It is beyond a doubt that all our knowledge begins with experience. Immaturity is the incapacity to use one's intelligence without the guidance of another. Act that your principle of action might safely be made a law for the whole world. Out of timber so crooked as that from which man is made nothing entirely straight can be carved. What can I know? What ought I do? What can I hope? May you live your life as if the maxim of your actions were to become a universal law. I had therefore to remove knowledge, in order to make room for belief. A categorical imperative would be one which represented an action as objectively necessary in itself, without reference to any other purpose. So act that your principle of action might safely be made a law for the whole world. But although all our knowledge begins with experience, it does not follow that it arises from experience. We are not rich by what we possess, but by what we can do without. Look closely. The beautiful may be small. I had to deny knowledge in order to make room for faith. One who makes himself a worm cannot complain afterwards if people step on him. Rules for happiness: something to do, someone to love, something to hope for. All our knowledge begins with the senses, proceeds then to the understanding, and ends with reason. There is nothing higher than reason. For peace to reign on earth, humans must evolve into new beings who have learned to see the whole first. Whereas the beautiful is limited, the sublime is limitless, so that the mind in the presence of the sublime, attempting to imagine what it cannot, has pain in the failure but pleasure in contemplating the immensity of the attempt. Out of the crooked timber of humanity, no straight thing was ever made. Laziness and cowardice are the reasons why so great a portion of mankind, after nature has long since discharged them from external direction, naturaliter majoremnes, nevertheless remains under lifelong tutelage, and why it is so easy for others to set themselves up as their guardians. It is so easy not to be of age. If I have a book which understands for me, a pastor who has a conscience for me, a physician who decides my diet, and so forth, I need not trouble myself. I need not think. If I can only pay, others will easily undertake the irksome work for me. That the step to competence is held to be very dangerous by the far greater portion of mankind.